Now, one of the things that is important to get from this particular chapter is the one little small program that an operating system has that allows us to use hardware, and it's right down here. The word is device drivers. Drivers are small programs that allow Windows to use hardware. If I put this flash drive into the USB drive, and then there are no drivers available to make it work, I won't be able to even see it. Or it'll say unknown device. Same thing with the camera I'm going through, the microphone over there, the actual screen itself. There are tons of drivers on my computer that allow the hardware to work. Drivers are software, small software that is written to make hardware work. Software is programs, small programs that allow hardware to work. It's what allows us to interact with every single piece of hardware on our computer. So we've got that operating system. It says kernel. They all have different kernels. That's the core of the operating system. It interacts with device drivers to access hardware. Those device drivers frequently come with Windows. Sometimes you have to download new ones. Sometimes you get a CD with a new device that has device drivers on them, but without them, the devices do not work. That's the software that makes hardware work. They're stored on the hard drive with the operating system. Many times they're installed with the operating system when they're first put in, sometimes not. If Windows didn't have knowledge of this camera that I'm talking to right now when Windows was released, then it has to go out and find them on the internet and download them, or I have to go and manually download those drivers myself. They're written for a particular operating system. There are Windows 7 drivers and Windows 8 drivers and Windows 10 drivers and Linux drivers and Mac drivers. It says usually, but they are written for a specific operating system. Sometimes they're cross-compatible, but they're written for a specific operating system in mind. There's also two types of drivers. Even for Windows 10, there's 32-bit and 64-bit drivers. And we're going to talk about what the difference is here in just a second. But whenever you get a device, you need to make sure it's compatible with your operating system and your bit, the width of the bus that you have it installed for. What does that mean? Here's a little terrible graphic. Every system today, and they used to be much smaller, but they're either 32 or 64-bit systems. In other words, there are packets of information that go around the north and the south bus route. And the size of the bus means how much information gets on each packet as it goes around the route. So think of it like a physical bus. Only so many kids can get on a small bus, only so many and more kids can get on a big bus. And a driver is only certified to go on one kind of bus. So if you get a driver, there's a little pun there, we're talking about drivers. If you get a driver that's for a 32-bit bus and your system is running 64-bit Windows, your driver doesn't work. It can't do anything for you. So there's two sizes, 32-bit and 64-bit, and we already watched a video back in chapter 1 about what a bit is, right? Now those packets are 32 bits or 64 bits, and it's one or the other. It's not both. When you install your operating system, and you have to make sure you've got the right driver for the bus that you've got driving around your motherboard. It's as good a graphic as I can get for you on that. Okay, how do we find drivers? We can find them on the internet, and if you do find them on the internet, you only get them from the manufacturer's website or from Windows. And we'll do a demonstration in class. If we have in class, if not, I'll make another video for it. Virtually every single time I Google a driver, if I go to the third or fourth thing down that's not the manufacturer's website and not from Microsoft, it is going to have viruses. And I do a demo every year on, hey, let's go download one. I do it on a virtual machine, and then I do a virus scan, and that machine now has a virus. It's a wonderful place for dumb people to get viruses, because people are looking to fix something and they assume you don't know enough to get them from the manufacturer. You clicked on that other one and it was a hazardous situation, and that's how we get viruses on our computer. So go to the manufacturer's website. That's always the best place to get them, the current download from the manufacturer. I tell students there's a number of places you can get them. 3, in fact. You can get them off the CD that came with it. You can get it from Windows. You can get it from the manufacturer, and I think it should be in that order. Manufacturer, then Windows, and then the CD. Never anybody else. Never a third-party website. If it's a HP webcam, go to HP. If a Logitech webcam, you go to Logitech. You don't go anywhere else. So those device drivers, sometimes BIOS can hand it off for very simple devices, but in general, you need to download and have them installed on the operating system. Those are faster than BIOS drivers, so they're obviously better. How do we find those? In BIOS, we just have to set it up and say, hey, use this, and it just uses it. The ones for the operating system, we go to those places, and we have some tools that let us look at it. If I hit the Windows pause break key on my computer, this screen comes up. And in a laptop, you have the Windows and the function and the pause break key, because the function key is blue and pause break's written in blue, and that's how you get those blue keys. You have to function at the same time. So I'm up here, and if I go to Device Manager, it's going to show everything that's on my computer. I go full size. These are all the things that are on my computer, broken down by category, and in there I can also get the drivers. So if I want to look at my display adapter, my video card, here's the video card. This has an Intel HD Graphics 4600 card. If I double click on that, it says this device is working, and I can go to the driver tab, and it says what driver is on right now. The driver is from Intel Corporation. It was written in 2017 and is version whatever. Okay? I can go through Windows and update that driver right now. I'm hoping it's already updated, and all I do is hit Update Drivers, and it says, hey, do you want to search automatically, or do you have one downloaded? Well, I don't, so I'm going to hit Search Automatically. So it's going to go out to Microsoft. It's going to say, hey, oops, there's an updated driver, by the way. I think it's found one. It's going to say, hey, do you have an updated driver to this? And it does. If you do it this way, it's safe, completely safe. It's going to Microsoft. It's Microsoft certified. It doesn't have any viruses. It's going there. It's finding the driver. It's downloading the driver. It's going to install the driver. It may mess up this video, by the way. We'll have to wait and see whether it clobbers it during the install, but it's installing it all on itself. All I had to do was click Update Driver. People don't usually do this if everything's working fine. Why would you, right? It's working. But if it's not, if it's quirky, if it's locking up every once in a while, if something's not working right, then go ahead and update your driver. You can't do it on your laptop right now because you don't have administrative privileges, but you can certainly do it on a computer at home. And if you're a gamer, you want to update the drivers on your video card before anything else. If you don't have the current drivers, you're probably hurting your gaming performance by not having the best drivers that are updated all the time for new games, as far as that goes. Okay, so now it's done. And now it says, look, the driver date's 10/29/2018, still 2 years old, but it's updated. And you could go to any, and look, it's got a rollback if you want to. If it all of a sudden has problems with this driver, you can roll back to a previous driver. I'm going to go ahead and close. That's all it takes to update drivers through Windows. If I wanted to update drivers from the manufacturer's website, then I would have to go I'd have to open it up and say, hey, I want to find that particular driver and do a search for that driver. So for instance, I just got an AMD RX 560 video card. I would have to know the name of the card itself. I would want to go to the manufacturer's website and then look for drivers and support, and then download the driver for that. Now I can go right here. It says this is an auto detect for it, or I could just say, hey, I know I've got this particular card. It's a 500 series RX 560, submit, and then it will give me the option to pick my operating system, and you can see it has how many bit operating system. It doesn't even have a 32-bit option. And then I can download the file that came out in July 14th, my anniversary, and I could download that file, and then it's an application file, so I would download that file and then run that file once I'm done to get that current driver on my computer. And you can Google anything, but again, when I'm Googling drivers, I always go only to the manufacturer's website.